welcome back to Split the Party. Once again, I'm your host, Steve Osmond, despite the fact that I look a little different without the beard. Today we are talking about a game that I've just recently discovered by Asmodee Games. I know this has been out for a while, but I've only recently gotten my hands on it. It is a lot of fun, a little lighter family-style party game. It's called Timeline. Now there are a number of different iterations of Timeline, inventions. The one that I have here, Science and Discoveries. The basic idea of Timeline is you are trying to place things in a timeline. For instance, you'll place a card out automatically at the beginning of the game. I have here the discovery of Halley's Comet, which happened in 1682. Now, each player is going to have a hand of cards, and they're going to look at them with the name of the card forward, not the year, and they're going to try and decide, for instance, the cloning of mammals. Now, this one's fairly easy. Do I think the cloning of mammals happened earlier in the timeline or later in the timeline than the discovery of Halley's Comet? I know that it happened later. It actually happened in the 90s. 1996. So I'll place that there. The goal is to have all your cards gone first. You want to be the first one to play out every one of your cards out. Now, if you play a card in the wrong place, you have to draw a new card. This doesn't seem very difficult because I had two. I had the discovery of Halley's Comet and I had the cloning of mammals. Add a few more cards to this. So we'll go ahead and we'll add the discovery of the language of bees and the discovery of photosynthesis. Now, when I have the invention of insulin, I have to figure out in between which one of these cards it goes. Not does it go at this end or this end. I have to place it in exactly the right place. So we'll say the discovery of insulin, I'm assuming it goes somewhere in here. 1921, I was correct, it happened before that, but after this, so it stays, and I'm down one more card. If I had placed it here, I draw another card, I'm still fighting to get my hand out. Now you can play these games singly. There are four different versions of the game. You can play them together. That's when it actually gets really complicated, when you're trying to remember if the invention of the phonograph happened before the discovery of photosynthesis, or if this cultural movement happened before this scientific discovery. As you start to mix mediums and mix topics together, it gets a lot more complicated. You don't have to play it that way, but it's a lot of fun once you've played the game a little bit and you've played Science and Discoveries for a while, or you've played Inventions for a while. You add another one in that you're familiar with, and now you're trying to remember, okay, well, when about did this happen, and did this one lead to this? Not only is it a really fun game, it's interesting to see how some of these things, when some of these things happened. You'd be surprised. The discovery of blood circulation happened in 1242. That's earlier than maybe a lot of people wouldn't have thought that that would have happened in the 1200s, but it did. So as you're going through, you learn a lot about history. You learn about the progression of technologies and sciences and the arts, which makes for a great learning experience, while at the same time having a fun interactive game experience. Again, it is a light party game. It takes like 15 minutes to play it. You can play it with up to 5 players. This is another one of those games I'm going to have in my travel box. I'll have the card, I have the cards in there, and this is just my box of games that are really light and easy to play. They're all fairly portable, and I can take them with me, and in just about any group of people, I can throw down any one of these games, and everybody's going to have a good time. I'm confident of that with Timeline. Timeline is the kind of game that I can take into a group with just about anyone. Seasoned gamers, new gamers, people who don't even play games, they're going to be able to pick this up. They're going to be able to learn and have a really good time interacting and talking about the game as they go. So I think this is somebody that if you do play games with a wide variety of different players, Timeline is a game for you. This is something that you should pick up and keep in your collection. But for today, that's all the time that I've got. So I'd like to thank our sponsors, Excelsior Games and Comics, Duo Bus Design, and Sound G Entertainment. And I'll see you in the Nerdverse.